Welcome, bronies, to something like Zap apple jam and apple cider, making out of love and from our 4 beloved apples. Alright, a synopsis ahead. Applejack as a teenager catched herself in a web of lies, and Big Macintosh was a blabbermouth back then. Too short? Okay, today by On Second Look, to where and no, I will not review this anytime soon. You have to wait until it aired in the US. Of course, the temptation is there, but I know if I don't do it right, I would blame myself for it, and my work seems not to give me any break to do it properly. So you have to watch my reviews in the usual direction. Today by On Second Look, Where the Apple Lies. An Applejack origin story, which we didn't miss out till it aired. To set in the flashback storytelling, Apple Bloom tells a lie to...
Now why in tarnation would you lie to me, Apple Bloom?
I was kinda hoping I could fix it before any pony found out.
I think it is rather intriguing and felt very naturally for a child to act this way. The who lie is absolutely fitting to her, and we get a story about Applejack as a follower. Right, characters. The relationship between the two protagonists, Applejack and Big Macintosh, is well played. Both are inexperienced teenagers, and like many teenagers before her, Applejack had her own ideas, which is possible, and promised to a young, filthy...
Just Rich, please.
Alright, she promised him a half-baked plan. And here starts my great pleasure with this episode. Every pony looks like a real younger version of itself. Inexperienced and with more juvenileness. But the biggest difference is our silent friend Big Macintosh.
Applejack, Applejack, Applejack. Ideas are all well and good, but you can't plow a field with them.
He can really talk one's head off and left a smile for Cheery Lee. But there is a problem.
You and I both know you don't hate to say anything.
Well, I've always thought that the most important thing a pony can do is say exactly what's on his mind to any pony who listens, so every pony everywhere always knows everything you're thinking. And
you don't ever have to listen to any pony else.
Applejack felt misunderstood, and I can see why. But it is even worse than that, as Rich held a pistol on her head.
Oh, sounds to me like you're trying to make excuses. Whenever Granddad dealt with Granny Smith, she kept her word. If you can't do that, then maybe our families should stop doing business together. All together.
He had obviously the stronger position of Verse, the younger mare, and utilized it perfectly. But he isn't a one-sided villain. No, he is really nice to Granny Smith and visited her at home and in the hospital. This led to even more lies and even more complicated ones. Alright, this is primarily plot design and not the characters in general. Now to my last points for the characters. We get a few references I hardly get, a few I barely familiar with, and this obvious one. It is shining! Come play with us, right? Only for a few frames, but it is very effective. And we get this here, our favorite mare with an eye bandage. And many other with injuries, but I will focus on this poor guy here. He just broke his horn. Broke his horn! Poor little half-corn, right? No way. Now to my second point of view, scenery. I love the separated settings. First it is very simple, and with not much else than Sweet Apple Acres and the family. Then the hospital setting joins in, and it is great! Teenager Applejack, after all, is adorable with her 2 plates, and her whole body style remembers me on another teenager pony, Fluttershy in the flight camp. So it seemed that she is a little bit older than the other Pegasi, right? Alright, back to the recent episode. We get a few scenes full with references. Apart from that, we get an interesting episode with many point of views for well-known characters and a few new in the background. But in this case, mainly ill-fated and hurt ponies, like Wing-Broken Philly. Aw, poor thing. The rest of the scenery besides the hospital was minimalistic at best, but nothing to be ashamed of. Right, for my last point again. Plot design. I liked it. It was quite different than I expected from the synopsis, but it fits perfectly in the show. Applejack tried to assert herself against her jabbering brother and lapsed into more and more lies and caught herself in its web. But Big Macintosh isn't unfriendly, but insecure.
Big Macintosh, please just listen to me for once!
Both are learning an important lesson here.
That's not entirely true. Maybe if I paid more attention to what you had to say instead of talking all the time, none of this would have happened in the first place. I just need to talk less, listen more, especially to you.
Thanks, big brother.
And this guides Apple Bloom to one realization too.
Hope you learned something too.
I sure did. I learned that no pony starts out perfect, and sometimes you gotta make a few mistakes to figure out who you are.
This is really good build-up, and I enjoyed it very much. Great job, writer. But something I've missed out. Where are Applejack's parents? And what happened with them? Apple Bloom isn't born in the story, I assume, right? When is she born either? Alright, too much questions. Damn it! But it didn't demolish the episode around my second favorite pony. Yes, my ranking changed a little bit with this season. Applejack has passed Twilight now. Sorry, little Alicorn, but her character I enjoyed more than yours. Alright, resume. The apples as a family are well characterized, and even Rich fits in perfectly. I don't have anything bad to say about them. Let me think. Here, the characters earn 8 out of 10 points. Now for my second rating, the scenery. It was a really good scenery here. They have split it into 2 different main locations, and I love the simple Sweet Apple Acres part, contrasted with the crowded Ponyville General setting. The characters were spot on and the scenery just beautiful. We get a few references, but not too many, and background assumptions for a few side and background characters. Or shorter, a living world. Something I loved most in My Little Pony. Also, I'm really surprised how the authors were using the body language and line of sight as a stylistic element. I think I just have to make a video about it. Excuse me. The scenery receives 8 out of 10 points. And now, as usually, the third point, the plot design. Yes, it is a well-known plot, but as usual, the author shows us an interesting spin for the premise. And he shows us who are really in charge in Sweet Apple Acres.
Yep.
But I think the most important thing I learned is who really runs Sweet Apple Acres. Granny!
I like the pacing a lot, and the ending was perfect. The plot design gets 9 out of 10 points. This was a really good episode. It showed why Applejack is one of my favorite characters, and how the whole family is well written too. Every relationship and every character of the core family is likable and interesting. And I like the dynamic between the siblings very much. Alright, my overall rating. Totally 8.33 out of 10 points. A good episode. Now I have just to say, I will not review To Where and Back again so fast as other reviewer. I just don't want it, and another episode is on the road for me. Don't expect everything like a jump to the final from me. So just 2 episodes left, and then a break for all of us. I'm really hyped for the 7th season.
What?
And I think I will continue with my reviews so far then. But in the break, I will not let go my videos, so I will translate a few from my older ones into English, and will do more new ones. Thanks for watching after all, and till next time, yours truly, Redhatbrony.